Excuse my language.
Hey, we're
This is episode.
live.
All right, we are live. We are late and live, but we are here.
We are here.
Here,
Yeah.
we are here.
Hey, everybody. Peace and blessings.
Hey, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Rest in peace to all the mothers that's not here. We send them love too.
Yes, and don't forget the fathers that made the mothers mothers. We
And if
gotta.
you're transsexual, don't mean you're a
Carl,
mother.
don't you start,
Sorry.
okay? Let mothers have their
Don't
Mother's Day.
forget the fathers that made the mothers mothers.
Yeah, you got a Father's Day.
Well, since then, how about those single dads that? No, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, if that's the case, you need an Auntie Mommy Day.
Damn. We should have an Auntie
okay.
Mommy Day.
All right, so welcome to. We are running a little late today. I got home a little late. That's why we're late. Wasn't my fault. Wasn't Kevin's fault. Wasn't Tiffany's fault. Was my fault. But
Called
we're
the
here.
superstar.
We're ready to go. Today we're going to talk about the support for Mr. Daniel Penny, who murdered Jordan Neely, but he's getting tons of support. We're going to get into that. Find out why do white people support white people who murder black people as the topics. That's how I wrote the topic. Why do white people support white people who murder black people? Why? We're going to get into it. But first, you know what? How we do? Here we go. Oh, not that. Sorry.
I was about to say that's a new song.
The new song.
But
You
it's
didn't tell us about that.
no.
Another one. All right. While song, I'm drink my smoothie.
With the knowledge you gain, break away from the chains, helping you grow the black therapy show. You get a safe space, dealing with the black trauma. We unpacking and inspecting all our baggage and drama. Cause we gotta unite, no more killing each other. It's time to see a new future for my sisters and brothers. With Kevin, Carl, and Tiffany, you'll have an epiphany. We'll give you everything you need to handle the enemy. We're giving you empathy, we gon' challenge you mentally. The right conversation so you grow exponentially. We built your penitentiaries, we built all your schools. Gave us brainwash education, just making us fools. Hatred was what we got in exchange for love. No more manipulation from my God above. No, it's Carl, Kevin, and Tiffany. Now welcome to the Black Therapy Show. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Tiffany? Kevin was here, but he went to, I guess, get another smoothie. Welcome, everybody. And like
Welcome.
Said, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's
To
Day,
all
Queen's
you women
mothers.
who are mothers, and to the men who think there are women and they can be mothers. You're not, but happy Mother's Day to you too, I guess.
That was cute, Carl.
What is? I've seen them. You've seen the videos. Men,
Yeah.
they don't have a uterus, they don't have a womb, but somehow they think I'm a woman. Well, good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to shout out your mom, Tiffany? What makes your mom special, Tiffany? Let's talk about that.
Her resilience.
Yes.
You know, I tell people all the time, my role model was my mother. I never looked at a celebrity. I never looked at a model. I never looked at anybody that was in high authority. I always thought of my mother as being my role model. So I want to salute her. And she didn't come from the glitz and glamour, and she had a hard life, but she made sure her children, her daughters, was able to have a different life, and we salute her. And like you said, I'm glad that she met my father, and if it wasn't for her meeting my father, you wouldn't have me and my sisters. Hi, Mom, love you.
What makes your mom special, Kev?
My mom was a single parent. She had 4 kids that she basically raised by herself. And I can tell you that was hard for her. I mean, just to make sure that we had a roof over our head, that we ate every night. You know what the best thing about my childhood and my mom was? We were poor, but we didn't know we were poor because there's so much love in the house with my mom and my siblings.
Yeah.
We just never knew we were poor.
Yeah, all of us.
Because we just had that we had our best friends, our next door neighbors, our best friends, everybody in the neighborhood stayed at Miss Catherine's house. That's my mom's name. So we had our house was always the centerpiece for the neighborhood. That's where all the kids would come and hang out and spend the night. For some reason, our house was the house. Always, no matter what neighborhood we lived in, our house is the house to go to. So and that says a lot about my mom, you know, who basically she's the reason for that, for her kids being able to have that energy to have people want to be around them like that. So yeah, she's an amazing mom. She's still with me. I'm very grateful to still have my mom because I know there's a lot of people today that don't have their mom.
Yeah.
So I give thanks for being able to have my mom right now.
We salute you, Miss Catherine.
Absolutely. Shout out to your mom, Tiffany, and your mom, Kev. My mom, one thing I remember, there were 4 of us. I had 3 sisters, and we all wanted something different to eat every day. And my mom would try to accommodate that in the kitchen. I might want soup. My sister might want macaroni pie. My other sister might want rice. Somebody else might. And my mom and my dad would step in. If he was home, he would step in and go, nope. Whatever mom cooks, that's what we're going to eat. But my mom would try to make all her kids happy. And that's one thing I really remember as a kid about. I never thought of it as a kid. You know, if I told mom I wanted this to eat, she made it for me, and I never really thought of it. But once I grew up, I realized how much love that must have taken for her to try to make all 4 kids happy all at the same time. She just didn't want to disappoint any of us. So, Mom, I love you. You know, I love you, and you're still here, and I'm glad you're still here to know that and hear me say that I love you.
That's amazing. Amen.
All right, so we're going to get into it today, as we always do every Sunday here at 7 p.m. It's the Daniel Perry, the guy who murdered Jordan Neely.
Penny.
It's the Daniel Penny. I'm sorry. Whoever Daniel.
He couldn't even be a nickel. He's low life. Okay.
This man. Okay, let me show up. This is unbelievable how they get the support.
This is fair use, educational purposes. This is our opinion, nobody else's opinion. We don't own any rights to any of this, just using it as educational purposes and entertainment.
All right. So here is
Good morning. I'm John Gabbard from the John Gabbard Podcast. Right now, I just found out that Daniel Penny, the Marine Infantry Squad leader who defended himself and others against a violent criminal on a subway train a couple weeks ago, has been charged with manslaughter and been arrested. He needs our help. They set up a Give, Send, Go account for him. The link is going to be in the description. We need to give as much money as we possibly can for his legal defense, because this will have extreme ramifications for all of us if he ends up being convicted of manslaughter. He defended himself. He has served his country with honor, and once again served his country with honor when he defended himself and others on that subway train. Please go to the link that's in the description for his Give, Send, Go account and give as much as you possibly can. If you can't give, then go ahead and share this post so other people have the opportunity to give. Once again, the link is going to be in the description. Please donate every penny that you possibly can. Thank you very much. Have a great day. God bless. Godspeed. Good luck.
Kevin, you know how you say sometimes you want to go to the screen and yank somebody out and beat the shit out of? That's how I felt watching that video.
We discussed this in our pre-show before our guest joined us for the show today. Did any black people send money to O.J. Simpson? No, we did not. We may have cheered when he was found acquitted, and that's for different reasons, and we know the reasons behind that. But I don't think anybody ever sent money to OJ to help him get lawyers to prove that he's innocent. And as we know, there was a GoFundMe page for Dylan Roof, who murdered, I believe, 8 people or 9 people in the basement of a South Carolina church, African Americans he killed. And I think his GoFundMe page generated somewhere around $4 million. That was, and then they cut it off. They took it down because of the there was so much backlash, you know, about it or something like that. So yeah, but the fact that he got $4 million, and then the guy who Rittenhouse, who killed the Black Lives, he killed a white guy, but he's a supporter of Black Lives Matter. He received a lot of donations also for his thing also. So if you do something towards the African American community and you're white, you're gonna get donations from white people. And these people, by the way, folks, let me say this real quickly, they're your neighbors. they're your neighbors, your coworkers, the people in the red light next to you in the car. I mean, guy at the grocery store ringing up your groceries. That's your mailman. You know what I'm saying? It's those people
Is this a culture?
that we see every day, Carl and Tiff, that are doing this. You know, that are these people inside their heart. You might not know it, but inside their heart, they're the ones sending this money.
Tiffany, what did you think?
Well, can you give me the link, please? Because I need to send some fuck you dollars over there. Okay? Because I don't understand why do they think that they can raise money for killing a black person? It's like, you know, I was telling y'all off the show, it's like a fetish. Those people that are sending the money, they get off by seeing black people getting killed on social media. And those are the ones that's sending the money to him, you know, trying to build a case. Yeah, they sent it to, yes, Dylan Roof, yes, to the other Rittenhouse, because they get off on that. And it's disgusting that y'all will make money off of somebody's death. That young man did not touch nobody. He was just written and raving because he was upset. And that happens all on the regular. You don't put your hands on nobody.
But
Right.
I mean, like they said, he held him for 15 minutes. Doctors said after 4 minutes of choking someone, the body goes limp.
Yes, isn't that you know how they say that you knock a person out,
Right.
a chokehold, knock him out for a second or whatever the case may be. He had him for 15 minutes. That man died within the 4th, 5th minute.
Yes.
He had to, and he was still holding on to him.
So he wanted, you know, here's what I say. Remember, we've all seen the pictures of lynchings, right? We've seen the pictures of lynchings where black people are hanging from trees.
Yes.
And white people are standing, hundreds and thousands of white people are standing under the tree, taking pictures, smiling. We all know about the history of when there was a lynching. Was it like a holiday? You know, thousands of white people would gather. They would have picnics. They would have parties, you know, to watch black people be murdered.
Murdered and killed.
What do you think happened to all of those white people? You think they all just disappear? You think that all those thousands of white people all of a sudden one day just decided, you know what? We're not doing this anymore. No, they still exist. That mentality still exists.
Yeah, it still exists, but it exists through their children, through their children, because half of them is dead now. But they still raise in a household, in a white household. They are trained and raised to be against black people, to be intimidated by a black person, to already kill and don't think about what you do first. You know, it's embedded in them.
That's my point, right? So should we be shocked? It's like any opportunity some white people get to kill a black person, they're gonna take it. This guy saw his opportunity and he took it.
And they're not all dead, because you got to think about people like Karen Bryant, I think that's her name.
Right.
The one who died in the kill. She just died 2 weeks ago, right? Harry Belafonte was around. He just passed away last week, 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and he was around during those civil rights days. A lot of the civil rights guys on both sides, the racists and the ones, and they could be still around. They're just in their 80s, you know, in their late 70s, you know. So many of them can be still alive. And like Tiff said, you know, still raising their family that way because they grew up in the house.
Descendants.
But they're still around. All of them not dead. I mean, the ones that died are the ones that were assassinated. You know, like Dr. King was assassinated. What is he? 38 years old when he died. Something like that. 39, I believe. So he wasn't even 40 when he died. So
no, he wasn't 40.
So he would have lived a long life. He'd probably be just passing away right about now. You know, he'd be still living like my parents. You know, so. You know, so yeah, they're not all gone, you know.
Right, so I'm saying, like, should we really be shocked? You know what I mean? Like I said like I've always said, like we walk among people who want us dead. You know, and
I think they celebrate it, Carl. I think they're okay with it. I think like they don't see this guy, the guy that was killed on the subway. They don't see him worthy of justice, and that's sad. Like they don't think he because they don't know that people loved him. Somebody loved him, right?
Yeah, he had family.
Yeah, he had family that loved him, and a lot of times homeless people are homeless because they want to be homeless. Trust me, I know that. I know that from personal experience because I have relatives that were homeless in my family, so
Me too.
I
Mhm.
know that homeless people do have places to go. And my relative that was homeless had friends that were homeless, and they had family to go home to. They just wanted to be homeless. So everybody that's homeless doesn't mean they don't have a place to go. Some of them just
Mhm.
want to be out there because they don't want
They
to deal
choose
with the
to.
world. They choose to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
know
mean,
that from firsthand
guy is saying
experience.
that he defended himself. How was he defending? He defended himself and other people on the train. The guy was yelling about being hungry, and maybe he was being a. But it doesn't take much for black people to intimidate white people, right? It doesn't take much for us to make them
Did
uncomfortable.
anybody ask him? Did anybody say, please stop the guy from screaming and hollering he got food? I don't think that happened.
No, but
Here's the question.
right, but
I'm
I'm
sorry.
saying though, it doesn't take much, Kevin. You and I talked about walking into a restaurant in different, you know what I mean, and all the white people that are eating just stop. Right? We all
Right.
Nigga alert, nigga alert.
it's like we know how we make white people uncomfortable. So them saying that he was making those white people on that train uncomfortable. If that train was all black people, that guy would be alive today. If
Well,
that
here's the question.
car was
No,
still,
what do you mean? It was black people on that train. It was a
I said if it
mixture.
was all black people, if there were no white people, nobody would have been
Oh,
intimidated.
because I was about to
Point
say it was a mixture. It was
where they
Spanish
feel like
people
they
on
have
that train,
to
black
grab
people.
him and choke him out. You know,
So let's reverse it. Let's reverse it, guys. Let's say.
let me jump in
Okay.
here. I mean, I want to say hi to a couple of people that are commenting here. AB's on YouTube. Hey, what's up, AB? She said, "Greetings, family. Greetings, AB."
What's up,
AB
lady?
says Martin Luther King was 36. She put up the number 36. I'm not even sure if AB's a female or male, but they said 36. I'm assuming they're
Thank
referring
you,
to
chat.
So he was 39. He was 39.
He was 39, not 36.
Yes.
Okay, unless AB that's your bra size. I don't know.
Yeah,
Let me
we'll
double
double
check.
check that, but I'm almost
Yeah.
positive.
Renee
Yeah.
Lewis, who's also checking us out on YouTube, said all those white people live on by their kids. They are now your bosses, your neighbors, and your politicians.
Yes.
Absolutely. You know, those people who were standing under those trees and who were celebrating the murder and the lynching of black people, they are not all gone. They're still here amongst us. So we shouldn't, I mean, we're going to talk about it because like we said, the reason this is called the Black Therapy Show because we get this stuff out. We can't hold it in. So our therapy is to talk about.
He was 39.
He was 39. Okay. So our therapy is to talk about it.
Yeah.
But yes, Renee, there are bosses, there are policemen, there are surgeons, there are doctors, they have not gone away.
Justice system, all of them.
We can't forget that. We can't think because we can no longer visually see a lynching that it's over and it's done with and it's no longer part of our daily route. It is still part, it's part of our history, but it still could happen today in a different way. It might not be hung from a tree, but the black guy who got a bullet in the back of his head, you know what I mean, by that police officer, I don't remember his name, or as we saw, Jordan Neely being murdered by Daniel Penny. These are the same people. These are the same
So here's an important question. Daniel Penny. Let's say Daniel Penny was a black Marine.
A what?
A black Marine.
Oh, if he's changing faces.
And he's a black Marine, and he choked out
a white guy
on the subway.
Oh, it would have been definitely over. He would have been locked up on the spot.
Do you think this guy will still have the GoFundMe, be on TikTok or wherever Carl got that video begging people for money for this Marine?
No.
Of course not. That's my point.
No, but also think about, not to cut you off, think about it. How about if a black guy saw this going on and stomped the hell out of Penny? He would have got in trouble for stomping Penny for killing this man.
Yep. Yeah. Well, nobody helped. That's what's even more sad
How
about
about somebody would have came and helped and stomped Penny right in the head, kicked that motherfucker in the head for holding him that tight? The other person would have got in trouble.
As Jay-Z once said, George Zimmerman is still walking around the streets, but we kill each other every day. So
yeah,
we know we so big and bad, and I'm sure some brothers on that subway, man, that saw this happen and
there was a brother holding his hands down. Yeah,
that's my point. Didn't even like interfere to stop it, man. And that's sad. That's sad that because Yeah, that makes it even worse, Tiff. That makes
And please, people, stop bringing up what he did in his past. That's they. Everybody always want to bring up what a person did in his past. He was homeless. He is going to have some stuff up under his record. I mean, come on, panhandling everything. You should hear people criticizing him because he was homeless or he done got locked up a few times. He still didn't supposed to get killed on the train by a passenger, a vigilante, a white man that don't even know him. He didn't supposed to put his hands on him. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it.
100% agree.
Period.
They brought up that he was arrested 40 something times. He
They
assaulted.
brought all of that up.
Yeah, he assaulted a 67-year-old woman. But do you know the Fraternal Order of Police
So did Donald Trump.
supports this guy?
No, I'm saying so Donald Trump just got
Right.
they take, so did Donald Trump got
The
convicted of assault somebody last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Fraternal Order of Police put out a statement supporting this guy, Daniel Penny.
For
Yeah.
real?
Yes.
Well, we already know who run them, so don't even, I don't want to talk about the police because I don't mess with them. I don't like them. I don't mess with them. God bless them. You understand? But we already know who run them. So you understand who is supporting him. And I think his father is a part of the system. He's a part of some state thing. I don't know if he's a cop or something. He's something, allegedly. So he's known. They know him. Some people know him.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious what's going on. I mean, can we stop it? Is there any way that we as Black people can stop it? If we started killing, if like Kevin said, it was different if that was a Black Marine and he put some white guy in a chokehold until he died.
No, the Black Marine would be in jail right now. And
Yeah, he'll be in jail, but a Black Marine is just not going to choke a white guy out like that. He going to think about it. Now, if the white guy touch him, he's going to choke his ass out. It's a difference.
That's different, yeah. That's different.
It's a real difference. You understand what I'm saying? The white guy felt like it was okay for him to put his measly hands on this man. Now his blood is on your hands for the rest of your life. But a Black person, only way that we are doing anything is because you touched us. You understand? Unless something is wrong with us and we just start in trouble. But most of the time, a black person is not going to do anything unless you touch them. And once you touch them, party is done. All bets is off. We don't care about nothing else.
But I always say we are not that easily intimidated, right? We as Black people, we can go anywhere. We go in a crowd of white people. We go in a crowd of Chinese. We go anywhere, anytime, and not feel like we're going to be attacked or not fear anyone. I could be on a train or whatever. There's a white person screaming and carrying on. As long as they don't touch me.
I'm
not fearful. I'm not scared. I'm not, this guy needs to be put in the chokehold. Like, this fear of Black people is, when I used to say white people are afraid of us, and Tanya, one of our, past panelists, she used to say they're not afraid of us. That is just something they say. But it seems to be, I don't know if
you said, excuse me. I don't want to talk about past what's going, but I don't think she would ever really know what a white person feel like because she's not a white person. She's a Black woman. She would never know how they feel about us.
Do you think white people really, is it fear when they?
It is. It's been instilled since they were young. It's fear, intimidation, watch out, protect your wife and children. It's always been that energy because if it wasn't, why are we having all these issues with them attacking us first? Or trying to hurt us.
And it's not only that, it's you're always suspicious.
Right.
Always suspicious. And yesterday, sometimes I wonder if I overthink things or if I'm too sensitive or if but I went to the bank, I took a check to the bank. And apparently maybe the lady thought it was too much. I don't know. I don't want to think for her, but I just felt like she asked me a series of questions. And then while she was doing the transaction to make the deposit, she just gave me this underlook. Like how, like you ever go into a store that's owned by white people and they're looking down doing what they're doing, but they're still looking up at the Black people. That they're like looking down, but their eyes are still up. In crack or where the Black people are.
Right.
You know how they do. You know, she was kind of doing that, right? She's looking down, but she's kind of looking at me like, where'd you get this check from? Even though it has my name, my address, she's got my ID, she's got a check with my name on it, with the account number. But I still felt like she thought something was up. You know what I mean?
Because when they have meetings, they're talking about Black people and watch out for them when they come in there with checks or large amount of checks.
Yeah. So that alone, but you know, a white person would not. They go to the bank, they deposit a check.
They don't worry about that.
Think about stuff like that. So I was just thinking, am I over?
We have a deli. I mean, cut you off, bro. We have a deli in my neighborhood that I go to. And I go there to gamble. I like to play the numbers, right? So I'm in there. I'm talking to this guy, white guy, and he says to me, and he's complaining to the store owner and me that the hotel down the street is now going to be housing immigrants. And, you know, he's so concerned about that these immigrants and how we're spending money on immigrants, but not on Americans. And they're going to get free shit, but we can't get free shit. And he's on and on and on with that whole thing, you know, and I ain't had time to get into it because I had somewhere to go, but I just want to tell him that we don't look out for each other, whether the immigrants are here or not. There's no unity in America. There's never been no unity. Black people and white people don't get along. All the shit we done been through. Now you worried about immigrants coming into the country, like because his whole argument was Americans are taking care of these immigrants now, and they're getting free shit that we don't get. But we don't get free shit even if the immigrants didn't show up. You know, this country don't take care of its citizens. On what level?
They letting people in and we still don't got no reparations.
No reparations, no health insurance, no this country, no nothing.
A better minimum wage besides $7 and $8 an hour. Are you serious?
Yeah, exactly. The highest paid Congress in the world, and the citizens all basically living paycheck to paycheck.
All of us is living paycheck to paycheck. I don't know about y'all, but I know I am. My sister and my people's is. We all living the paycheck to paycheck.
So yeah, I mean that's my point. Is he act like that's the reason?
Yeah,
America is struggling because these people are staying at the hotel down the street.
No.
You know? And
so now they want Black people now to join with them against the immigrants.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But why would we do that? That's not our business. We are busy worried about us. We're worried about our children. We're worried about our sons. We're worried about rent. When we're going to get the next meal. You understand? We got other stuff to worry about. We're not worrying about them like that.
How about the $1 we gave to Ukraine? Anybody worried about that?
I told you they sending our money over there, flipping it.
You know, but they don't worry about that.
No, nobody's worried about it.
AB from YouTube said, "Look like you look broke." So I guess the lady in the bank, that maybe I look like I shouldn't have that kind of money. I guess.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't come on this show and brag about a $30 check. It's embarrassing that you would do that.
It was $31.43.
Okay, that changes the game.
You know, yeah. So I mean, I was just saying that because you know, I sometimes wonder if I just blow things out of proportion, but I get it from some white people, and then some white people I deal with, and I don't get it. So I think I'm right. You know, I think I'm right.
I think you're recognizing it now that you are being more, AKA Erykah Badu, woke, because you know she was the one that invented woke. So,
yeah, and then the little first of all, I want, if any white people are watching, stop with the phony smile. Okay, the phony smile. We know it. We recognize it. We know it's bullshit. Either don't smile or just don't do it. It's just the phony smile just makes me want to put somebody in the head.
Did you get a phony smile?
I got a phony smile while she was doing the transaction. The big, you know, with all the teeth and when you smile, listen, white people, when you smile with your face, right? If I smile and I go like, my entire face lights up. But when you just smile with your mouth, that's a phony smile. And we know it and we recognize it. So just stop not fooling us. You know, we're on. You know, we know it. We recognize it.
The phony smile. That's hilarious.
Don't give Carl no phony smiles, okay?
So yeah, so I mean, we're gonna move on from this topic, but you know, the fact that this guy gets that when seems like when black people are killed, white people come out of the woodwork. One guy gave $10,000. You know,
He had money to waste. I need a GoFundMe, Auntie Mommy Fund Me, because I don't understand how they are funding this man and he paid for his own bail. It's not like he don't have a few dollars. He can take care of himself. Why y'all giving him money?
Because they want him to get the highest paid lawyer, the fanciest lawyer, to walk in there and argue his case that he had a right to kill this man. And they want him to be free for killing this man. So they're gonna give him all the money in the world.
I think
Same
they
way they
got him
wanted.
from.
Dylan Roof went into the basement of a church, had those 9 people pray with him, and then
Eat with them, everything.
then he executed them. And people still said, you know what? I'm gonna send this kid money to pay for his lawyers.
That just lets you know how evil people are.
Yeah, that's the country we live in, ladies and gentlemen.
that comes back to my point, right? All those people that enjoyed a lynching, they're still out.
They still exist. Yeah,
Yeah.
they still
And
exist.
or their children. It's their
Right.
descendants.
Yeah,
It could be them or their descendants. Because remember, like we said, they 80-something years old. You understand? They 80, probably 90 years old. They ain't looking at they grandchildren like, look, Pops, they done killed the black man today. Don't you like this?
Right. Like that 84-year-old man that shot that black kid in the head and then shot him while he was on the ground. He guaranteed he was at a lynching.
Yeah, he probably had dementia and thought he was right back there.
Yeah.
It was like, we need to kill all these niggas.
I'm glad you brought that up, Carl. It just reminded me that the guy who drove the car into the pedestrians last week when we talked about that on our show.
Right.
He admitted that he's a racist.
And he was Spanish. Can we talk about that? Why
He admitted
that
that he's a
is
racist.
Spanish, but they classify as white and they white supremacists. Can you please tell me what's going on?
Because there might be Spanish, but the lighter skinned Spanish, like the lighter skinned Puerto Ricans don't think they think they're white. They assimilate with white. The lighter skinned Cubans, you know what I mean? They take the white side. The lighter skinned Colombians, Brazilians, if they have the lighter skin, they don't.
Anybody that can be able to pass for white.
My ex-wife was from Brazil, and in her country, I mean, she's my complexion.
Right.
But in her country, Rio de Janeiro, where she's from, in Rio, she's considered a white woman. She has she's a white woman in Rio, but in America, she was black. Like on her driver's license, she's black. In this country, she's considered ethnic black. And in her country, she's considered white.
Yeah, they get to this country and they be called colored.
Yeah, so yeah, that's weird. That she goes, I was white in my country and I'm black in this country. Yeah.
It's real talk because they don't think that they're white. I mean, they don't think that they're Spanish, but they're trying to pass for white. So they're picking up this white supremacy thing. Because I told you, some people that work at the polls that I know, they said it was more Spanish people and Haitian people voting for Trump for the first time when he came in. And they said it was heavy with Spanish people.
Oh, hell yeah.
Know. And you he still looks at y'all as workers and black people, just light skin.
But they don't. But what they're voting for is an upper hand on us because they have been convinced that we are their competition. They've been convinced that we are the ones that they need to knock off the pedestal for their gain. So they're not in competition with the white man. They're in competition with us in their brain, in their mind.
In their brain, because we're not paying attention to y'all either. We got so much other stuff that we're worried about. It's
divide and conquer. Divide and conquer, Tiff.
We're not worried about hurting anybody. We're just trying to survive.
But let's say they loved us and we all became one. Who's outnumbered? Who's outnumbered?
You said who was your what?
I said if the Spanish people actually was in love with us and we were all brothers and sisters, who becomes the outnumbered person at that point?
The outnumbered person is the white person.
Yeah, that's why they divide and conquer us. That's why they make sure the Spanish people
They
don't
want to
like
keep
us.
us separated.
Yeah, they don't want that unity. They don't want that unity. But yeah, that was that dude. He admitted he was a racist and he targeted people of color when he with that car. Yep.
Yeah, he killed almost 8 people. A couple of people lost their limbs and everything. And like I said, I'm for
And they were all black.
freedom for everybody,
They're all black.
but that's horrible for y'all to really run it. But my thing is, why are a lot of these immigrants is leaving? It's no help in their country.
No, it isn't. Most of the people that leave their country are fighting for their lives because most of the guys are forced into gangs, and most of the girls are forced into sex slavery and prostitution. So if you're a mother over there and you got a 12-year-old son and a 9-year-old daughter, you're trying to get the hell out of there because you already know the daughter's going to end up being raped and forced into prostitution or something like that, and the son's going to end up in a gang, and he don't have much of a choice but to be in that gang. So a lot of them are escaping to save their lives. They're coming here to save their lives. You know, they're not just leaving their country because you know, uh, my neighbor is from one of those countries, and she's friends with Patricia. And she's worried to death about some of her relatives over there. You know, what's going on over there is horrible, absolutely horrible.
So
And
why do
they're
we?
trying to come here for a better life. You know, and everybody here is an immigrant because this land belongs to the Indians. We're all immigrants here, and I don't think. And then there's enough space, enough land, enough money in this country for everybody to live and do well. But there's a certain group of people that don't want to share that wealth, and we know who that is.
Right. Yeah, because I don't understand how we are spending thousands of dollars to go visit their country for vacation. And the people are not happy and the people are running from there. I don't want to spend no more money in Mexico if you see all these people running from there and they scared and they children and stuff. I thought that our money is going towards the economy to be able to help out, the little people, not push them out and they on their way coming over here.
Man, we spend more money trying to send a satellite into space to find out if there's water on Mars. You know how many millions of dollars it costs to do that? And those millions of dollars, they're trying to find out if there's life on Mars or water on Mars. They spend millions of dollars to find out if there's some water on the planet Mars when there's people in this
And
country
Flint,
that are going to bed hungry, children going to bed hungry. We don't care about children in this country.
Dude, I'm glad you brought that up, Kevin. In somewhere is in New Jersey, off New Jersey or Long Island somewhere. Apparently, some whales are washing up dead on the shore. A couple of whales, 3, 4, whatever. Anyway, it's too much for some people. We know who the people are. We know what they look like.
Right.
They're getting or asking for, and they think they're going to get it, $20 million to study why the whales are dying. From the government, from the United States government, they want a
$20 million when they can
to study why the whales are washing up dead on the shores of New Jersey or wherever it is.
They're gonna get it.
Do an autopsy.
Who gives a fuck if a whale dies?
And they're gonna get it too, Carl. They're gonna get that money. And meanwhile, New Jersey has some of the worst neighborhoods in the country, where people are struggling for housing and food and schools are run down. And
I done been to Jersey. Jersey need Jesus.
Yeah, it's some bad parts of Jersey. I've driven through some bad parts of Jersey, sister.
Yeah.
There's some bad parts, no doubt. So yeah, and then there's so much wealth there too. There's a lot of wealth in Jersey too. But yeah, it's a
but Jersey's big too.
Jersey's huge, yeah. So there you go, Paul.
Involved, like if they found out someday there were 2 more butterflies left in the world, and they wanted $10 billion to study why there's only 2 more, they would get it. But trying to understand why people are being murdered on a train or how can we make that nobody cares.
This reminds me of the guy who killed that lion. Remember the guy went from Minnesota to the dentist. The dentist killed the lion. All the backlash he got for killing that lion.
Yeah,
and we can't even get that type of backlash for a black man being murdered. You know?
Yeah.
No, but they did come out. That's one thing I can say about the Neely case to me.
Yeah.
People was down there on the train
That
station.
is
If you
true.
saw videos, they jumped in the turnstiles. And
Stand
I
correct,
think
yes.
that was another thing that shot it off for them to lock homeboy up. Because if we did not protest or say anything, or it wasn't on social media, we would have never found anything out about it. You know how
That is
many
true.
things they sweep up under the rug that we don't know about, you know,
It's
and
social
people that
media
don't want to
now.
talk about it because they've been threatened or something like that. So luckily somebody was there to take the video, and you saw people out there fighting because, like you said, he was loved. People did love him. He did have family. It's just that he was going through a mental crisis at the moment, you know, and nobody understood. And somebody took it upon themselves, which is a white man. How can you say white privilege? He felt like it was okay for him to put his hands on somebody, you know, and he was wrong.
Yeah. Let me read a couple more comments. Renee Lewis from YouTube, he said, my neighbor called 911 and said she heard gunshots from my house. I had 4 cops in my driveway. It so happened that while my wife was talking to them, someone was popping off fireworks. So I guess when your wife was talking to the police, I'm thinking, or when she was talking to the neighbor, anyway, it was fireworks and they said they heard gunshots. Well, of course, if you're black and, you know, they heard anything remotely, it's got to be gunshots.
Yeah, you're the first one to be questioned.
That's what we do, right? We just wake up
Yeah.
in the morning and first thing we do, we pop off a couple of rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said they said they were sorry and moved on. They apologized. That neighbor ain't no good to be around.
I would never trust that neighbor ever again.
Yeah.
Because that could have got you killed. That could have got your house shot up. You know, it just, people don't understand. It takes the littlest things. And if you almost got me killed, I'm not messing with you. I'm not talking.
You know what I realize black people are good at? We're good at minding our own business.
Because we don't want to get involved, because we always the suspect by the time it ends.
We are very good at minding our own business.
A comedian friend of mine does a joke so similar to, he says, he's talking to this 98-year-old man, and he told the young boy, you know how you get to be 98 years old? He goes, nah. The young man was smoking, the old man was smoking or something like that. And he goes, let me mess this joke up real quickly. He goes, you gotta start smoking or something like that. And, and the old man says to the young man, you know how you live to be 98 years old? He goes, no, how? You mind your own fucking business. It's the way he said it. It was fun. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. You mind your business.
I mean, I've been plenty of places and I see people doing some crazy shit and I just look at them and I just keep going. Like, you know, they're not hurting anyone. You know, they're not doing anything. But I will say, and I think I mentioned this on the show before, that I was once driving somewhere and I saw this guy watching a girl at a bus stop, and I parked my car and I watched him watching her. You know, I watched him drive around the block, and I waited until she got on the bus. You know, because what he was doing, he was up to something. You know,
and that's nice that you caught that, because a lot of people don't catch stuff. They don't look at stuff. Like they done did little projects where they had a child standing outside. Nobody talked to the child. Nobody said anything to the child. Nobody said where your mama at. You have people that really is in their own zone, their own world, and they're not paying attention. So that's good that you did pay attention, because you probably saved her life.
Yeah.
You know, the bad news is I think this guy's gonna walk.
I was thinking about that too. He is gonna I wouldn't be surprised, because they don't got him under murder. They got him under manslaughter.
They got him under manslaughter. Now that was smart of the prosecution to do that. And the reason the prosecution didn't go for murder, because it's harder to actually get a murder conviction over a manslaughter. So I think they went for the lower one to kind of make their chances better to get the conviction. So that was smart, actually, tip for her to him or she. I don't know who the prosecutor is, to do that. But this guy gonna have a high-powered lawyer, because money talks, and they're gonna get the best lawyer money can buy, and big time lawyers they work. I don't know how they work against the law, but they know all the loopholes. They got all the connections, and
How about if
All right,
they
we
do
got a
it
couple of comments from
pro bono? They're gonna do it pro bono. How you don't think they'll do pro bono?
we got a couple of comments from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole Coates, what's up, Nicole?
Hi, sister.
Washington, the state capital. She's saying that it's a really bad neighborhood right down the street from the capital.
Right across the street from the
yes.
White House. I know the last time I was there, it was the White House here in the ghetto right there.
And first of all, I grew up in DC. Y'all ain't gonna sit here and talk about my town.
Yeah.
But okay, we're not
I'm
gonna talk
born
about
and
your
raised
town,
in
but is it
DC.
true?
No,
We have
it's not.
a
It's
very
not.
interesting somebody whose name is Stare of All That Is Obvious. Stare of All That's Obvious. I guess they're watching us on YouTube, and they ask a question, and I'll put it out to you guys. Why do black people support black people who burn down cities and murder white people? Where is this happening?
That sounds like one of our trolls. You know why? Here we go with these trolls again. That
Let them
sounds
troll.
like a
Let
troll.
them troll, Tiff. We got to answer these questions. So let's answer the
Yeah,
question.
answer it.
Can you give us some examples of where black people are burning?
Let me answer that question.
Go ahead.
I grew up outside of Washington D.C., College Park, Maryland. I remember about 20-something years ago, Maryland University won a championship, and I think it was a basketball champion. No, it wasn't a basketball championship. They won a championship. The university won a championship. Do you know that there were riots in the streets of college kids? 99% white college kids turning over, setting cars on fire, burning cars up, busting in store windows. They demolished College Park, Maryland for like 5 blocks of that campus, all because they were celebrating a college team winning a championship. The same thing happened when the hockey team won up in Boston a few years ago, or more than a few years ago. I date back like 10 years ago, where all the riots broke out to celebrate this hockey team winning, and cars were set on fire, storefronts were broken down. So my point is that the same thing happens for sporting events. So white people think it's okay to set cars on fire and break storefronts and loot when a hockey team wins a championship, but we're not allowed to be angry when a police officer is acquitted for murdering an unarmed black man. And as Dr. King said, who this person obviously doesn't agree with anything Dr. King probably said, a riot is the voice of the unheard. So my point is that protest has always been a part of American history. Let this person know who's watching us, Carl, that when he finished watching us, tell him to Google.
No, he can hear you, so he can do whatever.
Okay, so I want this person to Google Black Wall Street. I like him to Google Black Wall Street and tell me who burned down what cities and towns back in those days. Who did the burning and looting and burning down cities and killing innocent kids, women, and men for no reason other than jealousy.
Isn't that the KKK?
I'm trying to think of. I mean, I can't think of one time in history where black people, I this person.
Well, I think he's referring to when Dr. King was assassinated. When Dr. King was assassinated, a lot of black people took to the streets in inner cities and set them on fire. And so we
Los Angeles too, right? When was it the OJ verdict? When
no, it was Rodney. No, it was Rodney King. When Rodney King verdict came out,
right.
They took to the streets and set things on fire. So yeah, there were black people who were angry over injustices. So yeah, they were angry over injustices happening to our community, but it just doesn't happen because our hockey team won a sporting championship or the basketball team at a university won a championship or whatever. So and then it don't happen because we're jealous. We've never gone into any white town in America and burnt down. Tell me, when have we ever burnt down a town of all white people
Yeah,
just because
I
in the
challenge
history of this country?
anyone. Yeah, I challenge this person to name a time in history where Black people got together and made a decision to go and murder and kill white people, or just to go burn down where white people live, or just name a time in history. Name
It's not even there.
you know.
It's not even there. And think about this. Remember when they was going through the protesting in front of businesses, they had bricks in front of the businesses for people to take the bricks and throw it. That's a setup. Why all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of bricks in front of houses and stuff? And then they even had certain white kids. They were the ones that was doing all the throwing and stuff, that a Black young lady had to call them out. Like, listen, we didn't come down there for this. We came down here to protest in peace. So most of the time we have to be careful, because you have infiltrators that will come in and they blame the shit on us, saying that we burning down our stuff. No, we be marching for peace. We don't want to be burning down our stuff. And if they are burning down stuff, they're burning down the slave master's descendant stuff. There ain't none of our stuff.
As you mentioned that, there were people in Philadelphia, matter of fact, during the summer of 2020, during the George Floyd protests, that were white people that were kind of dressed up like Black people in a sense, that were breaking storefront windows and starting fires, and they caught them on tape doing that, But so it's an ignorant,
Putting blackface on their face, acting like Black.
It's an ignorant question, and an insensitive question, because the bigger picture is that's just property, but you can replace shoes or flat screen TVs taken out of a Target, or
yeah,
whatever,
they got insurance.
but you can't replace a human being that was choked to death by a police officer with his knee. You can't replace a guy that was shot 7 times in the back, and because the police thought his cell phone looked like a gun, so it's ridiculous, for this person to even say that. But I think I know why the question's asked, because
you got
they're sensitive to what's happening, to Black people in America. That's all.
All right. So we have Tima Taylor.
Hey, Tima.
Facebook.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, you know Tima?
That's my baby mother.
Oh,
that's my godson's mother. Hey, Tima.
She said, "Our people don't matter, period. It's disgusting and disrespectful. That white man will go free due to his complexion and his money. I'm not happy at all. When will it end?" Unfortunately, Tima, it's never going to end, because, as we said before, those thousands and thousands of white people who enjoyed a lynching and a burning alive of Black people. You know how evil you have to be to enjoy a person being burnt alive? And
there's people out there like that. It's people out there like that. And like I said, this is a learned behavior.
Yes, those people, some of them are still alive today. So they're passing on that thought process to their family.
To their children.
You know what I mean? The way that guy killed that guy on the train showed he did not care. They don't see us as people. They don't see us as human. They see us as, these things that just should not even be on the earth. And we gotta come to grips with that's the way some of them see us. You know what I mean? And stop hoping that someday they're gonna magically, change the way they feel about us.
No, they're not going to change the way you feel, but you can be a better person.
They do
love yourself.
They do exist. Just remember that.
Yes, they do exist. Anybody that think that white supremacy or undercover racism don't exist, they're not from here. I don't care if you Black, white, I don't care. If you don't know that it doesn't exist, something is wrong with you.
Yeah.
Most of American holidays were built around violence, 4th of July,
yes.
Thanksgiving, and for somebody to say that, why do we burn down our own cities? We don't even come close to the carnage that was caused, in this country by other people, But
yeah, well,
we get tagged as people who burn down our cities. We don't have no cities. Fuck you talking about? We don't have no cities.
You get kind of salty.
Kevin, that guy got you hot.
We don't have no cities.
Yeah.
What cities? We don't have no cities. We
I
don't, own,
wish we had some cities.
we don't have no city. We don't own nothing. We don't have no cities. What cities we have? You know what? Because a couple of bad neighborhoods, some rioting went on. You're going to generate all African Americans and all black people in this country? Come on, man.
I mean, we know, like, people, I don't know, I don't think they forget, but they just, some people make up their own lies and they believe them. Like,
yeah, or they hear what they want to hear.
You know, because there's no way you can look at the history of America and not get, and not, I mean, like, what planet are you on? I wasn't even born here. And, you know, all the stuff I'm learning, you know, freaking blows my mind. And then people who are born here, people who've seen it, you know, they just seem to not even want to hear it or wish it never happened or just don't believe it. Like, you know, so.
No, those are the people that are angry about the immigrants.
All right, we got to move on. We paid tribute to our moms earlier, and Tiffany wanted to talk about mothers. Tima commented, I'm going to read her comment before we move on. Racism is taught at home. It's unfortunate, but we have to teach our children at a young age what to expect from folks that's not our complexion. America was built on the back of our ancestors, and the respect was never given to our people. It's pathetic. Absolutely. And are we ever going to get the respect?
No.
Will they ever respect us? Like, I think one of the reasons for that is they see we have no economic power. So they can do whatever they want to us.
They can do whatever. That's why we have to start owning.
Right. What did the FBI say? They don't bother with black people because they know we protest for a couple of weeks, 2 weeks. I think they say 2 weeks, and then we just go silent. So they know, you know, we're gonna protest this Jordan Neely's death, and then what's gonna happen? Then we just go silent.
Well, I hope they make change because that's the thing. We need change. You know, I hope something works out with the homeless, with the mental health crisis that people are going through. We cannot have his death. This is why I'm glad that we're talking about it. We don't want to have his death to be in vain. We want it to matter, you know, that it did cause change.
Yes.
We got thousands of people sending money to this guy. Another thousands of people sending money to research whales. That's what we are in America, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. So we're gonna move on. Tiffany mentioned talking about mothers and what makes a good mother, in your opinion, Tiffany. And should a mother be her children's best friend, or is it I'm the mom, you're the child? You know, not this. I don't believe in this best friend thing with kids.
No, I think that, you know, children and parents should have boundaries, because when you have boundaries, you know, your children is not going to cross them, you know, and they'll know better, you know, and the same thing with parents. You know, you don't want your children to get that comfortable with you where they feel like they can be disrespectful or disrespect you in front of other people or don't even care how you feel. You know, I did want to talk about mothers because a lot of my friends' mothers just passed away. You know, we want to send love to the ones that passed away. And then we have some that don't even have a relationship with their mom. You know, their mothers is either toxic or they going through something their own, you know, drugs, alcohol, anything, you know. And do a child, can they make forgiveness? You know, can they say, you know, I forgive my mother? Do the parents also? They have to they have to forgive themselves, and they have to, you know, stand for your children, because most of the reasons why our children are going through it right now is because they have mommy and daddy issues. So what can we do as parents, auntie, mommies, uncles? What can we do to make it better for our children in the future? Because we know our mothers work hard. You know, we salute y'all. But then they are ones that are toxic. And there's a lot of young people and older adults that are going through it right now because their mother didn't hug them. their mother didn't hold them, or their mother didn't have enough time for them, or their mother was working more than what they could have been there for them, or they choose their man over them. These are all things that is going on, and we have to choose our children because they're blessings from God.
Yeah, I mean, to me, bad mothers are the videos where I've seen where a mother would take her daughter or her son to a neighbor or someone who's messing with them at school, and they have the two kids fight it out. Beat her ass, beat her ass. Have you seen those videos where the mothers take the kids to fight and then they're cheering on, like, what kind of parenting is that?
Yeah, but that right there can get your ass whooped, because you just mentioned that just happened just not too long ago down south, where a mother went up to the school with her child trying to fight somebody, and what happened? The mother came out with 2 black eyes. The girl whooped their ass. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. What happened to? We have to learn how to solve problems. If your children is having issues, you need to talk to the principal or the teacher or who is in charge. You don't go up there swinging and fighting. You have to find a solution. And this would teach your children how to be able to problem solve.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are bad mothers, but what is a bad mother? I mean, what would you say is a bad mother?
Not taking accountability for your bad behavior.
Yeah. I mean, let me show you this
You
video.
know what, though? I'm listening to this conversation. I mean, first of all, it's supposed to be unconditional love for your kid, right?
Right.
Because there's no manual on how to be a parent.
Yeah.
There's no school on how to be a parent. There's no manual on how to be a parent. It's all just unconditional love for you, for the kid that you carry for 9 months in your womb. That's supposed to be a natural thing. I mean, I see on TikTok a lot these animal videos. There's one that's very tragic where this deer is in the water and alligators are coming to get them, and the mother deer sacrificed herself so the little deer can get away, and the alligators jumped on that deer, and another one, because they're coming towards the little one.
Right.
And they're swimming towards the little one, and the mother deer runs in front of her, and they gulp her down, and the little one gets away. That's unconditional love. Even animals have that instinct, you know what I mean, of unconditional love. And I read all the comments. There was a horrible video to watch, but all the comments basically said the same thing, that animals have that unconditional love. How come we can't as humans? There was a lot of those comments on that video, or that horrific video of that mother sacrificing her life to save her baby deer, from the alligator. So yeah, we just need mothers, parents, period, need to, especially we're talking about moms now, the unconditional love, for their kids.
Yeah.
And I recommend breastfeeding.
Yeah. In public.
Yo, in public, you is crazy.
All right.
Just love your children.
Now we have cell phones, definitely in public.
So we're coming to the portion of the show where I have a surprise video, and I just want
Here we go.
Kevin,
I'm about to get my Don King hair going.
This one is not too bad. I just want your opinion on what this lady says.
Here we go.
AB agrees with you, Tiffany. AB says communication is the best way to solve kids' issues at school.
Thank you.
Let me get my blood pressure medicine for Carl's video.
No. Okay, it's 2 of them, but I just need your thoughts on what this lady says.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Remember when we became African Americans, because I worked in the black marketing department at Coca-Cola, where we were selling Coke to our people. And the vice president came in and said, okay, we are now African Americans. We were like, alrighty, African. I heard this white woman was sitting next to me, and she said to another white woman, they don't know who they are.
Wow.
That's what I said. And I'm going to take my wig off, and I'll be honest, I did not know what to say to her. I didn't know what to say to her.
But in a way, it's kind of true, though.
That's why I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
But African Americans seems to be sticking now.
I just think we should just be human. How about that?
Anyone who's a scholar knows that the nations of the world have continuously for the last 20 years dealt with the nationality issue of these people.
Stop talking about what the white man did and what you're not getting and what's owed you and how can you live off the dole? How can you hook up your food stamps? And let's get our priorities straight here. Let's never forget from whence we came. Get back in the ring. I tell them, spit in that bucket. Put that thing back in your mouth. Put them gloves on and get your happy behind back out there in the ring. Don't you sit down. Don't you sit down. You are standing on the shoulders of not only your blood relatives. You're standing on the shoulders of Harriet Tubman. You're standing on the shoulders of Thurgood Marshall. You're standing on the shoulders of Mary McLeod Bethune. Come on. And you think that I am not going to get out there and make something of myself and turn around and pull somebody else, some other people up? You think that I'm not going to encourage somebody? I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I wear shoes. I wear shoes.
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
I wear shoes. Hallelujah. Thank Black Baby Jesus.
So basically, in the first video, she was saying that back, I guess this had to be a, I'm not sure when they start referring to us as African American, but that lady was in the boardroom and Coca-Cola was marketing towards Black people. And they said, okay, now we're African American. And as she said, one white lady said to the other white lady, they don't even know who they
are.
Yeah. Do we not know who we are? Are we kind of searching? Are we still searching?
It's interesting. Something very interesting about that African American thing, because I don't know where it came from, and I need more time to do some research. So next week we could probably discuss this topic a little further in detail.
Yeah.
Because every time I hear Martin Luther King talk, and I love Martin Luther King, I love listening to him talk. But when he refers to us as the American Negro, I always cringe. It makes me cringe for some reason when he says the American Negro. And Dr. King's voice is very strong.
Right.
And he always referred to us as the American Negro.
Mm-hmm.
And
as long as it ain't nigga.
It made me cringe for some reason when he says it. I don't know why. So I want to do some more. I can't even comment on that because I want to do some more research. I want to find out where that came from. Because in the 60s, Dr. King was referring to us as the American Negro. And all those civil rights leaders back then, we were called Negroes. So when did American come in? And was it us that made it come in, or was it the white man that made it come in? So I want to do some research on that, and maybe we can talk about this further in detail next week.
I heard it was Jesse Jackson, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, like you said, we would have to search it out to find out. We are American. We were born here. Our ancestors been here for almost 500 years. And yes, our ancestors are African, where Black people came from. Most of the Black people came from, because yes, it was indigenous people already here, but a lot of our descendants come from Africa. So that's probably why they put the African American thing. I don't have a problem with
everybody. They do that to everybody. I mean, there's Chinese Americans, or Asian Americans, I should say, right? Only people that aren't called, they're called Indian people, Indian Americans. I don't know. I know
Native Americans. It got under Native Americans.
Okay, so other groups are called, American alongside their name, but that's because they're Asian. So to call an Asian person Asian American,
Asian American,
or to call a person Native American because they are Native Americans. But are we Negroes?
We Negroes.
What is a Negro?
A Negro is Black, and the Greek though.
Who came up with that
Spanish.
name? Okay, who came with the name Negro?
It came from Negro, right? Negro is Spanish.
It's Negrito.
Negrito. Oh, yeah, that's
okay.
The word for
That's
Black.
Spanish for Black.
Got you. Okay, we learn something new every day. Thank you very much, Tiff.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So my when I first saw that video, I was wondering, like, do we really not know who we are? Are we still searching for our own identity?
Yeah, some people are still looking for themselves. It took me years, to be really comfortable in myself. I always had it because my mother always taught us how to be comfortable. But then you have to be able to be comfortable around everybody else. Because remember, your mother can tell you anything, because that's your mama. But yeah, you have to be comfortable around who you are. Once you are comfortable with yourself and you know who you are, you good. And a lot of our people are very ignorant. You have people from all different countries, continents, is ignorant about Black people. They don't know our history. They don't know our struggle or what we go through, and they already judge us. You understand? So, to the people that know themselves, God bless. And to the people that don't know, continue to learn. Find something that overfills your cup, that you can learn more about yourself so you won't spread your self-hate.
And in the second video, she's pretty much saying that stop trying to see about getting more food stamps or trying to find a way to get more from the government. But I understand what she's saying, but when you grew up in that environment, that's a mentality that's hard to shake.
It's not hard to shake. What is wrong with that? A lot of us want them food stamps because it helps us out. Did you see how much that stuff is out there in the streets, Carl? Them supermarkets is expensive. So sometimes the food stamps work out very, very well. Thank you. Y'all owe us anyway. Sorry.
So basically, Erin's saying there's nothing wrong with, but I guess she's saying how people try to stay in the system and get more out of the system.
No, I'm not saying take advantage of the system, because if you have an opportunity to make a way to open up doors for, for yourself and your family, and you don't need it anymore, so be it. But don't look down on people that do get it, because it is hard out here, especially for Black people.
But do you know who are the biggest welfare recipients in America?
It's the Jewish community, I heard.
I mean, the white American farmers.
Yeah.
They get millions.
The whites and the Jews.
Yes, they get millions of dollars.
They talk about us.
Yes, they get millions of dollars. Millions. I'm not even saying the farmer, the white American farmer.
They get more than us, but nobody say that. No. Say nothing about that. Jolly Good Ginger said that. If you looked at one of his shows, he said his father used to say Black people are lazy. That they just sit around and get welfare all day. They don't like to work. And he looked at his father and was like, Dad, we get welfare too. He said, we're white. It's a difference. You understand? So they think it's a difference. No, it's not a difference. If you're white and you get welfare and you're not doing shit, you're lazy. You understand what I'm saying? But we out here busting our ass and working extra hard. And we need those extra couple of dollars to keep food in our refrigerator. And there shouldn't be nothing wrong with it. Don't take advantage of the system. Don't do that. If you got it, let somebody else get it that really needs it.
Yeah. Well, it's like when they had that hurricane in Texas and the Black people were seen as looting and the white people were gathering supplies.
But that's the media. And we all know how we feel about the media. So, they want to sit there and put in their own things and lie and stuff just to get views. So no, I don't like it either. I don't like that. One is good for this one, but it's not good for this one. Oh, they're looting. Oh, they're gathering. Oh, come on.
Well, you know why that is. Well, we're coming to another end of our show. We want to thank everyone for checking us out here on another Sunday. We started at 7:30. Like I said, I got a late start. Thank you, Tima, for hanging with us. Thank you, Renee. YouTube, Nicole.
My sister, yeah.
Hey, what's up, sister?
Sarah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Seer. Sarah, of all that is obvious. The guy or the woman who said Blacks burn down their own cities and murder white people. They didn't provide any evidence. But I would love to. I'm going to Google that and see if anything comes up, because I have no recollection of that ever happening in the history. But before I go, as always, Kevin, any knowledge you want to drop? Anything you want to say to your mom or anyone that's a mom, or anything you learned that you want to share?
Just nothing but love for all good mothers out there and the bad ones who try to be good. Everybody falls short at something, So, if you love your kid and things are hard and you make mistakes, then that's understandable because we all make mistakes in our life. You know, just like I said earlier, that unconditional love should conquer everything at the end of the day, though. You know, so but once again, great show, Tiff and Carl.
Thank you.
I think next week we need to explore that lady's conversation a little bit more because what she said was very powerful in both videos, especially the second video, really was very interesting. And maybe we should elaborate on that a little bit more next week. I like to watch that video again, you know, because it was very. Yeah, I'll watch it again. Yeah, I'll watch it again later. Yeah, it was very powerful what she said, and I agree with her. I mean, I understand. Yeah, I mean, we should get help. Everybody needs to get help. I mean, you know, it's tough out here these days, you know, and the United States of America has a lot of money and they give it to everybody for everything. They build bombs. They send money to other countries to rebuild other countries up after they bomb them. So much they spend millions of dollars sending ships to the moon or whatever the case may be. And all these politicians are millionaires and they ain't doing nothing but arguing with each other every day. So yeah, if they're gonna give out free money and food stamps to people and people to take them, then take them, you know. And people that complain, "Oh, my tax dollars, not tax dollars." You ain't complaining about your tax. You complain about your tax dollars helping somebody put food on the table. You're not complaining about your tax dollars building another bomb. Like we need another bomb in this
Right,
country,
right.
you know, because we have enough bombs already to destroy this planet as we know it. Do we need to build another bomb? And I guarantee you, as I speak, there's another bomb being built right now on American tax people's dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Have a nice day, everybody. I'm out.
Tiffany, any words of wisdom or anything you learned that you want to share?
Well, we want to send out love to all our mothers. We want to salute you, honor you, and thank you for your space because I know it's some good and wonderful mothers. I have a wonderful mother. To the ones that are, like you said, you know, we send prayer to you that you can be a better mother. You know, we know it's hard out there and your back is against the wall, but you know that you are a reflection. Your children, they watch you and they need you. They need you. Mothers, your children need you, you know, and we love you and we salute you. And yes, we should talk, you know, more about this. Because we need to have the conversation. You know, we really do need to have the conversation on what's really going on with our people. And do we know who we are? Because once we know who we are, we should be able to make better steps, better choices, better decisions, especially for ourselves and our family. Once we know who we are. So, you know, if you out there and you don't know who, start learning yourself, learning and loving yourself. And thank you again to all that came. Please like and subscribe. Also, I know a lot of y'all put y'all comments in the chat. Can y'all please, you know, after the show, put your comments in the chat also because we need to see it. Remember, the chat disappears. So it's not like we can see the comments. So if you can, when the tape stops, just go back and just type in what you said so we can have it up there. Because we want to know your comments. We want to be able to comment on it or tell us things that you want us to talk about because we want to have the conversation. Thank you.
Another thing I want to discuss, and I'm just saying this out loud because like Tiffany said, we need to have the conversation. But I was always curious as to why when there's a new book out, like a new Harry Potter or some kind of book, the line is always jammed with white kids. But when there's a new sneaker out, it's the total opposite. Like,
stop it. You know we like to be
we have different. We'll talk about this more next week because we'll be here another hour talking about that card. I want to respond to that.
Us black people like to
I want to respond to that. I want to respond to that, but I need to respond in time. We don't have time right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying out loud just to get it out of my head, just in case I forget. You know what I mean? That's and I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here, but I know that's the way a lot of people see us, as that we're consumers and we are interested in things, you know, material things as opposed to, you know, educational things.
I know black people that have read Harry Potter.
Yeah, but I'm saying, if you look, if you see it, you know what I mean? You see
my daughter read Harry Potter, and to this day, I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Okay.
AB from YouTube said, first time I heard Kevin drop dropping the F word and they're laughing. 'Cause they never, you never heard Kevin swear on this show, really?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Hot head
Sometimes we have a
Kevin Lee,
potty
sure.
mouth. Sorry.
And before I go again, I want to say I want to apologize to my mom for being an unselfish, ungrateful little bastard when I was growing up. What, Tiffany? What? I
You
was?
saw me there and I'm like, and look, I had to catch myself. Like, I can't even say nothing because I done did some shit to my
Yeah,
mother.
I did a lot of shit that you know what I mean? And my mom put up with it. And,
Yeah.
you know, so I want to say I am sorry. And,
Yes.
Apology probably accepted, I'm sure.
I am so
That's so
sorry.
funny because it's the truth. Like, Mom, I'm sorry too. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Kev,
I'm
you gotta
sorry.
say sorry, Kev.
Yeah, I'm apologizing for the first, I would say for the first 18, 19 years of my life.
That's a long time, bro.
I apologize because
Me
I
too.
was not fun. I was not fun. You know, but
Hey,
I'm
can I say something?
there. The
Can I
fact,
say something, by the way, can I say something real quickly?
yeah,
Father's Day is in 6 weeks. Don't be fronting everybody, okay? I'm sick of this. Everybody act like Father's Day is not an important holiday. It gets pushed to the back. We don't get the same love Mother's Day get.
yeah.
8 weeks from now, I want some love on this show for the fathers. I'm counting. The countdown has begun. I'm tired of these neckties
Yeah.
for the real gifts.
All right. Once again, I want to thank everyone for checking us out on Sunday. Thank you for taking the hour and a half that you took to spend with us. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all that chimed in to make this show what it is. We truly appreciate it. Please
Yes.
like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we go live Sundays at 7 p.m. Kevin, I love you. Tiffany, I love you. And
Love you back. Love you back. Love you back. Love you too.
every Sunday. I do not take this lightly. Trust me on that. And with that, we're going to say sayonara, arrivederci. I don't know how else to say goodbye.
With that booming music, that's what that number one, soon to be number one rap song.
Yes. All right, people. Peace out. We love you.
What is up with you in this song?
Paul got a new song on us.
The knowledge you gain, break away from the chains. We helping you grow the black therapy. You be in a safe space, dealing with the black trauma. We unpacking and inspecting all our baggage and drama. Cause we gotta unite, no more killing each other. It's time to see a new future for my sisters and brothers. With Kevin, Carl, and Tiffany, you'll have an epiphany. We'll give you everything you need to handle the enemy. We'll be giving you empathy, we gon' challenge you mentally. The right conversation so you grow exponentially. We built your penitentiaries, we built all your schools. Gave us brainwashed education, just making us fools. Hatred was what we got in exchange for love. No more manipulation from my God above. No, it's Carl Kevin. Welcome to the Black Therapy Show. Let's go.